Yo, what up, everyone? It's your boy Mellow Flows, commentating yet another race in the Mega Man 6 tournament that we got going on. And this is a really exciting one. We got Resistingframe versus DarkTerrex. These are two really strong runners of this game. Uh, they wait, what is the difference in their PBs? Let me check that out real quick. Yeah, so Resistingframe has a 34-38, and DarkTerrex has a 34-10, so really close. I don't want to keep anybody waiting, so we do have the green light from our runners that they're ready. So let me give them the heads up, and we are going to get going. All right, I just gave them the go-ahead, so we are going to be resetting soon. Let's give both of our runners a big GL. This is a very important race here. The winner is going to face either Papat or Mad Mega X. Papat Dot, everyone knows, is the world record holder of this game. Mad Mega X is definitely going to put up a fight for that next round. So we should see our runners reset shortly here. So this is one of the final two rounds in round 3. The winner of this is going to the semifinals, and okay, here we go. Alright, so we're going to be starting off in Wind Man Stage, and the reason for that is because weapons don't really speed up the stage. Everything is quite doable with the Buster, and once we finally get to Windman, the Windman fight is perfectly fine with charge shots. We're going to see a whole bunch of these pandas, and some tricky movement with the fans on the ground. This long room here is called, well, we call it the Improv Room because any little mishap in your movements will force you to improvise the rest of the room. Wow, and DarkTerrex doing clutch jumps. Oh, okay, yeah, that is crazy that he even went for that. Okay, DarkTerrex having a few issues here in the checkpoint room of Windman. At first, he was going for this really risky fast movement called clutch jumps. In Mega Man 6, you cannot jump out of your slide freely. You have to cancel your slide. So if you want to do little short slides like that and then jump, you need to cancel it by either tapping A again or pressing the opposite direction on your D-pad. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the surface of those flippy platforms is less than 1 tile, so like it's really the timing to get your slide cancel in on time and jump is really tight. Okay, so here we are in the Windman fight. Resistingframe showing us why the Buster fight is no big deal. Just get your charge shots in. Nothing but charge shots, and then one lemon at the end to finish him off. You can do what Terrex is showing here, where you slide back and forth, canceling your slide with the turn cancels, and that actually speeds up your charge shot by 1 frame each time. So that's a little trick to speed up your charges slightly faster. Okay, and despite those deaths in the checkpoint room, DarkTerrex looked like he teleported out at about 2:30, which honestly, with 2 deaths, like that's not a huge time loss. So here we are in Flame Man Stage. This is a really demanding stage in terms of movement. Like I said, those slide cancels really come in handy here. And this is a really good stage where you kind of gauge the runners to see like what are they comfortable with. Do they A cancel? Do they turn cancel? They're gonna have to do that, otherwise they're walking everywhere, because if you don't cancel your slide, you are going to just slide off of the ledge, either into spikes or into an oil pit, which will likely be lit on fire. There's so many places to die, by the way. As you see Terrex doing, Resisting just did earlier, we want to slide across that long oil pit, and as we do so, we want to make sure we kill those flame tellies, because we want to avoid them dropping any flames on the oil, lighting it on fire. These fire boys, their flame dropping or flame throwing from their head is RNG. It's RNG whether or not it's RNG on the distance that they throw it, and on the timing. Yeah, so luckily both of our runners getting past without falling into any flames, which by the way is instant death. Didn't really get to talk about Flame Man, but he's a pretty simple boss with the weakness. He does tend to jump a lot, but wind goes right through those flame pillars that he puts on the ground, and if you ever try to fight him with Buster, you'll find that those flame pillars are kind of like shields. You can't shoot through them, but the wind storm goes right through them. Now we get Flame Blast, which is a really powerful weapon. We're going to be seeing a lot of it in the rest of the run. So after we defeat Windman with the Buster, everything, as far as the Robot Masters are concerned, everything else after that is just in the boss weakness order. So Flame was weak to Wind, and Blizzard is weak to Flame. So here we are in Blizzard Man Stage. It's an ice stage, so we have ice physics. The funny thing about the ice physics is if you do a turn cancel on your slide, you'll whip around in the opposite direction, so you'll lose all your speed. So if you want to turn around and retain your forward ice physics sliding momentum, you have to do an A cancel. Then you could freely turn around and keep moving in that direction, which allows you to reverse deboost on some enemies. It's actually a really fun movement. So Resistingframe coming into the Submarine Room. This is a very dangerous room. Luckily it's right after the checkpoint, so death here wouldn't be too costly. He did it a little bit safe, sliding over jumping over the margarine pit. DarkTerrex doing the same. There's this little pit in there, and if you're going as fast as possible, by the time you get there, the spikes will be exposed, and if you choose to try to slide over the pit, it works most of the time, but sometimes the game will just shove you off and put you into the spikes. And when you do that, you kind of have a hard time getting across the top of the submarine under those spikes in the fastest possible cycle, which is what we call butter. But both of these runners getting 2 slices of butter, so that's perfectly fine. Oh my god, RF getting no rolls. That is not fair. All those snowflakes. That's god pattern. Terrex starting off with snowflakes too. 2 snowflakes patterns, so he's able to come to the right side of the wall just in time when Blizzard Man starts rolling, so definitely saved time there. Even though he got 2 rolls, they were 2 short rolls towards the right side of the wall, so the duration of the rolls weren't that long. Definitely looks like Terrex caught up. Both of these runners, it looked like they performed Blizzard Man Stage pretty much the same. RF did have some better RNG, but they both played it safe in the Submarine Room. And now we're here in Plant Man Stage. Plant Man is another dangerous stage, and knowing these two, they're not going to hold back. They're going to go for the hard stuff. We want to kill these grasshoppers if we can, because if at any point there's two on the screen at the same time, there's going to be some lag. This is the last Mega Man game on the NES, so at this point, you know, everything looks really good. Everything's really vibrant, and they finally managed to handle lag quite well. So this game isn't too laggy, but at times it could be pretty bad, noticeably bad. And these gorillas, we want to be able to one jump kill them. It doesn't save that much time, but it's really cool to see because it requires decent jump mash in order to jump and shoot 6 shots into him in one jump. Both of these runners so far, I think, needed 2 jumps. Resistingframe doing the platform jumps. That's the strat that I was worried about coming into this stage. DarkTerrex coming up to it now. He's not menuing off of flames, so that means he's going for them, yep. Jumping right on those platforms that usually require you, well, I mean, they do require you to switch to Buster in order to open them up. But we know how to jump on them without opening them. It's only 2 pixels wide, and you have to jump within just a couple of frames afterwards, but it's doable. Resistingframe in the Plant Man fight, I guess I could talk about it here on Terrex's screen. As you can see, Plant Man is running back and forth without putting his shield back on, and that's because both of these runners got the plant manipulation. If you deboost when he lands from his jump and put your body into his hitbox, you have 2 pixels in which to stand, which will send him running back and forth like that without putting a shield on. And that's just enough time to get 6 hits in. Both of these runners got 5 hits in, which is perfectly fine. They were still able to finish the fight in 2 cycles. So now here we are in Tomahawk Man Stage. This stage it's pretty chill in comparison to Blizzard and Plant, where we just came from. There's not a lot of pits, there's not a lot of spikes, there's just a ton of enemies that we're going to take down with our flame. And if we do it right, we'll have just enough ammo to get all the way to the boss gate. And it's a fun fact that a lot of these stages have alternate routes. 4 of them have alternate routes that lead to different boss gates, and if you go to those boss gates, well, first of all, the alternate one requires the usage of Rush Chit or Rush POW to access. We have earned those. You get POW from Flame Man stage, and you get Jet from Plant Man stage. So now we have the Rush adapters, because in this game you don't have the helpful dog to jump on or fly on. Instead, you wear him for these abilities for flying and punching. And this stage has, well, that was pretty dangerous. This stage has this extra room that you can see on DarkTerrex's screen, well, just past it, where you can meet Proto Man, as well as an alternate path to earn a beat letter. B-E-A-T. 4 letters to earn a cute little blue bird that attacks enemies. He attacks enemies pretty well, but the menus in this game makes it almost worthless. Even in the 100% category, which DarkTerrex rerouted to put beat in and the energy balancer. I know it saves time now, but I'm not sure how much, but just barely, because Beat got nerfed so bad since Mega Man 5. Both of these runners had a pretty good Tomahawk stage and fight, no major mistakes, and they managed to handle the fight well, even though it's an exact ammo fight, so you want to be careful with your plant ammo. Here in Yamato stage, it's a little bit more dangerous than Tomahawk, but not as difficult as the plants or the earlier stages in this run. We just want to have some clean movement. We're able to manage the enemies with our busters, so that's what we do. Because menus, of course, take time, and if you menu, it has to be more than worth it. So over here we're going to menu to Jet for the first time so that we can access one of the alternate routes that I had mentioned earlier. In this stage, this is the only one where we're going to actually traverse the alternate path and get to the other boss gates. It just so happens that this alternate path is faster than the normal one, so it got routed into the any percent category. And even though you cannot slide with Jet or POW equipped, at times we're going to choose to equip it and keep it equipped because the menus are too costly, and the slides that you might get from switching to a different weapon won't make up the time for going into the menu and choosing that weapon. The Yamato Man Fight it's an interesting one because he's a robot master that only has 2 patterns. He could either shoot horizontally or jump. And in this game, robot masters can only do 2 of the same thing before being forced to do the other pattern. So since he only has 2 patterns, it's easy to anticipate the third if he does the same thing twice in a row. Coming into Nightman, oh, by the way, that boss rule about the only 2 in a row, that doesn't apply to Nightman, and I'm sure we'll see Nightman put that rule of not having it into action. This is a very dangerous room right here at the start of the stage, the spike ceiling. RF playing it safe and just choosing to deboost that guy, perfectly fine. He did have the charge shot. Normally you would kill that enemy so you could continue sliding without anything in the way. And DarkTerrex doing the exact same thing. And now we're going to switch to Jet just so we could skip these rooms and skip as much ladder climbing as possible. This is a lot of vertical climbing, so that would be really slow. Actually, it's not that slow. If you switch to Yamato at the spike ceiling, Yamato being the weakness for the boss, and just did those rooms normally, it's quite comparable to doing it with Jet just because of those menus. Alright, so coming into the bouncy house part of Nightman's castle, Resistingframe, bouncing. If you can bounce in just a particular way, you won't bonk. In certain spots, if you bonk over here, it slows down your forward momentum. I'm not sure why that happens. DarkTerrex having a really good bounce house. Okay, so like I said, that rule doesn't apply to Nightman. As you can see, he is jumping non-stop. He can choose to jump, he can choose to do anything over and over again. He's special. And Resistingframe got a ton of jumps. DarkTerrex, it started off with a jump, but now he's being nicer. Much nicer. So generally in the Robot Master fights, we want to kill the boss on the right side of the room because we want those explosion bubbles to despawn, get off of the screen. And we want it specifically on the right side because we want to be on the right side of the screen, because for some reason being there reduces lag. And it only works on the right side. Don't know why, but that's why it's just beneficial to not only kill bosses off on the side of the screen, but it being on the right is the best. Both of these runners going for a miracle jump, making that tight squeeze under the Metroid falling from the sky and over that pit. Centaurman is the last robot master of the game, and it's the water stage. So like always, water stages tend to be kind of dangerous because we're dealing with water physics, and they love to just fill it up with spikes. But like never before seen, and I don't think we ever saw this after, but water on the ceiling. Yeah, you only get the water physics. You can only jump high when the tide is low. But we don't need it to get over all those spikes. we could just do some tricky D-boosts and use our iframes to slide over the spikes, saving some time. There's a safer strat where you actually do use the water at the top to jump over the spikes. And there's another part where you could use the water at the top to get a different type of D-boost, a safer D-boost to slide over the spikes. A lot of different variations in this game. In fact, this run has 2 other viable routes for the speedrun. You could do Flame first, or Night first. And whichever one you pick, you just go in boss weakness order from there. However, the route that we're seeing here, Wind first, is the fastest one. And this is what that's what our runners know. The fast route. Centaurman, it's kind of RNG dependent. He could choose to teleport, and so he disappears and you'll be unable to hit him for a second or 2. And he could choose to do that, I think, 3 times in the fight. So both of these runners getting some okay RNG up. I'm not sure if they got any teleports actually. I was just looking back and forth and I didn't see any on either screen. So they're doing really good, despite the 2 early deaths that Terrex had in Windman. They're holding close, both with the sub 20 coming into X1. And now that we're in the castle stages, we're going to be using a lot more Jet and POW. Because, like always, they want you to use what you've learned, equip those adapters. Oh, RF Resisting having some problems with the cannon guarding that ladder. Resisting was playing it safe by going to the top on that platform, but it didn't really work out. DarkTerrex going straight for the cannon, a much more risky strat, but doing it just fine. Alright, so now we're going to switch to POW so we could jump and break that window onto the side. It's much faster than sticking with Jet and taking the top route. And like I said, we can't slide with Power Jet equipped, but as you can see, we're going to just walk all the way to the other end since we have another block to break. The menus being too costly, so just keep POW on, try to punch those grasshoppers as best as you can, and break that block on the other side. This is a really cool boss fight. The hitbox is protected. It's right in the center between these 2 invulnerable parts. So, as you can see, the DarkTerrex's shots were bouncing right off. So you can do a trick where you could just shoot your flame pillars right on the floor or the wall, and the boss will slide right into it, and the hitbox would actually come in contact with the flame pillar. So the fight, what we do is it's a mixture of that. We shoot some on the floor, and we try to shoot some right into his hitbox, but it looked like DarkTerrex's, too many of them bounced off. Okay, here in X2, I want to say it's a kind of a short stage. Completely horizontal, just going from left all the way to the right over some spikes. We're going to be switching to Silver Tomahawk, and we're gonna really show how that arc works, not only for these enemies, taking them out with just one shot, but it's the weakness for the boss, and it's a good thing that they did that, because I don't know any other weapon. Well, maybe Knight. Well, Knight is a pretty good backup for a lot of stuff. But look at him. He's on a wall. He's on a wall, he's moving up and down. His movement is completely RNG. We don't know if he's going up or down. So you really got to get used to the trajectory of Tomahawk to master this fight. Be able to read the power piston on the wall. Power piston's movement. DarkTerrex having an issue getting these last 2 hits in. Ammo's a bit low, but he should be fine. Now that we're in the castle stages, our ammo will not refill in between the stages, so we have to make sure that we manage our ammo correctly, or else we're going to have to go out of our way to fill it up. Okay, so here in X3, it's one of my more difficult stages. It's a jet stage where we're going to be equipping jet for most of it, so that we can get over these huge pits. The seesaws that we're standing on, they can be maneuvered so that you can make these jumps without all this flying, but you know, why do that when we could just use jet, get across, and then switch back to Buster so we could start sliding. So this stage, it's only difficult in terms of like the movement, because jetting, it's not a very graceful method of transportation. To move horizontally, you have to stagger your A inputs, and almost every time your A inputs will not line up with the B inputs that you need to do on the screen. So you really have to know how to stagger your A's and B's, not press them together, so that you can fly appropriately and shoot what you need to shoot. Alright, and at the end of, when we finally reach the boss gate, we're going to be switching to POW so we could fight this regular sized Met in a huge robot body. Even though he has those arms, he doesn't use them. He just tries to run you over and shoot balls at you. So yeah, his weakness is Blizzard, but that's extremely slow and laggy and would force us to have to refill our Blizzard ammo later on. So POW is the alternative, and it's much faster anyways. So it can be a pretty dangerous fight because Matongerzy's movement is RNG, and he does a ton of contact damage. DarkTerrex did have a little bit of a struggle there, but coming out okay. And now, here we are in X4. This is what most Mega Man 6 runners have come to agree on, that it's the most difficult stage in the run. We're going to be using Night Crusher for most of it, because Night is a very powerful weapon. It does 3 damage, and you could have 2 on screen, so that's the power of 2 charge shots on screen at once. And it whips around like a boomerang. How cool is that? A lot of dangerous rooms in this stage, so many pits, and if you arc your Night Crush in a way where they both connect on your enemy at the same frame, it'll only count as 1 hit. So you have to make sure that you're being mindful and making sure that your Knights come in contact with your enemies separately. Alright, we're gonna slide as much as we can right up to that second boss gate before we switch to either POW or Flame. Is DarkTerrex going Flame? He's going POW. Okay. So the Flame fight is faster. Oh yeah, DarkTerrex had a rough rounder fight, so I'm not sure if he's doing good on Flame ammo. The POW suit is another good fast strat. If you could get into position, you could just knock back Mr. X back and forth, and we have US version on both sides, so fail D. My scheme for world domination has failed D. Let the final battle begin. Alright, so Mr. X has revealed himself to be Dr. Wiley. No one had any clue. So the game's not over yet. 4 more stages. Don't you love that? You get so much out of these old games. Like, you think it's over, like, nope, it's not over. And it's kind of unbeatable too when you're a child. It's almost unfair, but we love it anyways. Alright, so we're going to be using Jet to fly. As we fall, we're going to jet in this screen transition so that we can reduce our fall speed enough to get over to the side here and access this shortcut. This makes the stage a little quicker. Probably like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 seconds faster, which is a good chunk. If you kept falling and not take the shortcut, you would have to deal with some tricky spike rooms. Where you, I mean, we were in a spike room, but we could just fall right through them. The other spike rooms, you would have to jet or take D-boosts. Alright, and now we have Yamato equipped because for some reason that's the weakness for this boss, even though it doesn't work sometimes. Look at this. Nope. Nope, nope. Yeah, just spam it. There you go. So we call this boss the magic hitbox. For scientific reasons, the Yamato spear can't interact with it sometimes. And you just pray that you could kill it fast and still have enough Yamato ammo for your refights. Looks like the hitbox was just as magical for both of them, so pretty even. Alright, coming into Wiley 2, we got some ice physics here to start off the stage. That doesn't last long. And a Yoku room. We only jump on one Yoku in this game. Another reason why this is the best Mega Man game. Okay, and we take another shortcut from that one Yoku. Melt down a wall with our flame. Come over here. Kill some mad nerds. I mean, they're not mad until you make them mad. They're just trying to get to graduation. Oh no! Yeah, so the mad nerds take 2 shots to kill. It doesn't matter what you hit them with, it just has to be 2 of them. DarkTerrex going for the jump a little early before the nerd took the second hit. So they kind of just collided and the knockback killed Terrex. Luckily it's right after the checkpoint. The boss is no big deal. Just switch to wind and do that. Easiest boss. Alright, here in Wiley 3, this is the refight stage, but before we could get to the refight, so we gotta do the stage portion, which is this huge pool with crystal clear blue water and fans in the water, which actually can pull you and push you. Makes a lot of sense. Alright, and as we're going through that stage part, we want to fill up our Tomahawk with these 2 large refills and then just get to the teleport room as fast as we can. In this game, there is no refight skip. There's no zips or anything in this game. It's a perfectly developed game. So you have to do pretty much everything as intended, including fight all of these 8 robots all over again. So we're going to just be going to all of the teleporters clockwise and menuing as needed to their weakness. Even though there are some soft weaknesses, there's no crazy routing in the menus or the teleport room. We're just going to go clockwise and go to their main weakness. We do want to be mindful of where we menu because for some reason, some odd reason, if you menu in the teleporter room, it might take 1,000,000 years. That's not an exaggeration. The fade to black will take 1,000,000 years. So you're gonna see our runners do their menus in the boss room fight, in the boss rooms. And coming into Tomahawk and Wind at the same time, these are the 2 Robot Masters where their fights are exact ammo, so you want to be very mindful not to mash. Time those iframes correctly. Oh, see, Resisting did the 1,000,000-year pause. That took 1,000,000 years. Welcome to the future. And Resisting getting some teleports from Centaur. He's not being a bro. You want him to come at you, bro. And he's not coming at me, bro. Not for either of them. Wow, he's not coming at us, bro. Nothing but teleports. And Nightman jumping all over the place for resisting. Wow, they are both getting some terrible RNG. Terrex, yep, jumps. Resisting likes to go to the top left teleporter, which is Yamato, before jumping down to that mid for plant. So a little bit out of order with these two, but they are really close. Terrex getting the plant manip. Oh, Resistingframe actually not getting the plant manip since he got the left jump. It's slightly more complicated to set up the manipulation when you get the left jump to start off the fight. So Terrex is going to make up some time there. I'm not sure if it could save him. We're coming into the... Oh, and Terrex goes for that difficult jump at the end to go from the top left teleporter to the top center teleporter to exit. Alright, so here in the final stage we want to top off our Tomahawk ammo because it is the weakness for Wiley for all 3 phases. So we want to make sure that we're good on that. Resistingframe with some clean movement getting into the boss gate. So as long as he can manage his ammo properly, he's allowed to miss twice, but we're not going to need those extra 2. We're professionals. He had a really good first phase, second phase was good. DarkTerrex right here, really good first phase for him as well. So in the capsule fight, this is the 3rd phase. Time will be on the final hits. All of his spawns are RNG. We don't know where he's going to be. We hope that he's on the right side, or someplace low. And Resistingframe finishing up with a 35-10. That's a really good race time. GG's to him. And it looks like Terrex finishing right behind him with a 35-19. Wow, very close race. That is crazy. Even though Terrex had what 3 deaths within 9 seconds, within 10 seconds, it's 9 seconds apart. We could even see the Dr. Wiley B9 and screen at the same time. Breaking news. Yo, GG's to both of these guys, for real. Very good. Resistingframe taking race 1. This is a best out of 3 race, so this could go to game 3. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. These two have raced before plenty of times. Both of these runners have ran this game at GDQ. Very experienced top-level runners of this game. And they just showed it right here, low 35s. Most people would be happy with this time as a personal best, and this is a regular race time for them. Alright, so we will be preparing for our second race. Let me speak to our runners and see how they're doing. So just hang tight, everyone. Grab a snack or something. I could use a snack, actually. This is such a jam. The way they mixed in all the Robot Master themes, genius. Alright, so our runners are just taking a quick break before we start race number 2. Race number 1 was a really close one, only 9 seconds apart with their finishing times. This is the number 4th seed DarkTerrex facing the number 5th seed Resistingframe, so no wonder why it's so close. Alright, I'm getting confirmation from our runners that they are ready for round 2, so let me give them the green light, and we're gonna get started in just a moment. Again, we are watching the Mega Man 6 tournament. Put in !MM6 to see the bracket. We're right in the middle of round 3. The winners of this are going to the semifinals. We got the 4th and 5th seed in the tournament duking it out here. I'm pretty sure this is going to go to a race 3. Their PBs are so close, their consistency is so close. Resistingframe with that 34-38 personal best, and DarkTerrex has a 34-10. So yeah, really even matched. Alright, just waiting for our runners to ready up, and then we'll be resetting our consoles. Actually, Resistingframe is on an emulator. Nothing wrong with that. There are legal emulators for speedrunning. Check out megamanleaderboards.net to learn more. Alright, we got the go-ahead to start. Our runners have readied up. The countdown is beginning, so we're going to see them reset their consoles and get back to that title screen. Good luck to both of our runners on this race number 2. So in race number 1, DarkTerrex took a total of 3 deaths and still managed to keep it within 9 seconds. So let's see how this one goes. Alright, and there goes the reset. As you can see, the countdown on Resistingframe's integrated timer shows exactly when it's going to start. Here we go. Good luck again. Okay, so as I mentioned in the first race, this particular Mega Man speedrun does have 3 viable routes: Windman first, Flame first, or Nightman first. We even saw a Yamato Man first in this tournament, but that was a mistake. But yeah, Win first is the fastest route, and it's the route that both of these runners have learned. So as you can see, we can charge our Buster in this Mega Man. It's a good charge. It charges pretty fast. Unlike Mega Man 5, you can charge while you're sliding, so there's no hindrance there. But unlike Mega Man 4 or 5 or 3, 4 or 5, that's what I'm trying to say, you cannot jump out of your slides. So Mega Man 6 being very unique with its slide mechanics, if you slide, you are committed to the full length of that slide, unless you do what we call a slide cancel. Either press A again to stop in place, or press the opposite direction on your D-pad. So our runners, these runners are very experienced in this game, so they're both quite comfortable doing either A cancels or turn cancels for their slides, so we should be seeing a good mixture of both as they traverse these stages and optimizing their slide movement. Coming into the Windman fight roughly around the same time, as you could see, doing a Buster fight on him is quite simple. For the most part, he's always accessible, unless he flies high, but that usually doesn't take long for him to come right back down anyways. Both of them look like they killed Windman at around the same time. Windman exploded in the middle for both of them, so they had about the same amount of lag. Terrex looked like he teleported at 211, so having a slight lead. Really good Windman for both of these guys. Okay, so depending on what stage you chose first, on what route you picked, you just go in boss weakness order from then on. So since we did Windman, we're going to Flameman, since his weakness is wind. And this is a really fun stage. It has a ton of 2-tile wide platforms, so it really pushes your slide cancel skills to the test. Either you're sliding and canceling appropriately, or you're walking and losing time. And if you don't slide cancel, well, then you're just falling down, because you're going to slide right off. So we want to get through these oil pits as fast as possible. Some of them require us hopping on top of these cloud enemies, or they turn into clouds anyways, those pookers, after you shoot them into the oil pit. Wow, look at this sink! That is nice. Wow, they even do the same strats. It's not required for you to shoot that spiny guy while you're falling down, but it's pretty cool to see. I'm not sure if it's faster. Resistingframe getting a spineless, managing to get past that spiny without taking damage there. Terrex getting caught up, but still right behind. The distance and the timing of those flame shots from those fire boys is RNG, so getting past that last long room can be tricky if they choose to be uncooperative. Alright, so Flame Man, he's a jumpy boss. You want him to stay on the ground so that your ground-based weapon, Windstorm, can actually hit him. Both of these runners getting some jumps. Looks like Terrex had a little better, a little nicer Flame Man. So despite getting caught up on some of the enemies in that last room, I think he made up some time in that fight. So this is shaping up to be a really good race already. Okay, so whose weakness is flame? Oh, it must be the ice guy, right? Yeah. Yeah, fire melts ice. Let's go there. Here we are in Blizzard Man Stage. It's the ice stage. We're going to be dealing with ice physics, and it does affect the way our slides work. If you do a turn cancel, it's going to take away all of your forward momentum and whip you around, so we don't want to do that. We want to use our A cancels. And if you do your A cancel, you could cancel your slide and keep, well, effectively sliding, but without doing the Mega Man slide, just standing up, because you're on ice. And it helps us do reverse D-boost that way. We only needed it in the first room, and I'm still talking about it, but yeah. Wow, look at this. They are coming into the checkpoint room and now the submarine room at the same time. The submarine room is a very dangerous room. As you can see, it's going up and down. Sometimes it can eat your input depending on the frame that you press it. Wow, look at this sink. Both of them getting 2 slices of butter, playing it safe. I don't blame them. Both of them have enough flame ammo to take down that... Is that an octopus or a squid? It's a squid, right? I think it's a squid. And Terrex not going for bomb skip. Should I be surprised? I should be surprised. He always goes for bomb skip. I mean, he didn't go for in the last race, but I wouldn't imagine he would go for it after the win that he had. But yeah, you know what? Forget bomb skip. Let's talk about the fight. Blizzard Man could roll. Terrex is getting a ton of rolls. If he rolls, you can't hit him. So stop rolling, Blizzard Man, please. Yeah, so RNG could really rob you of some time there. Looks like it took quite a few seconds from Terrex. I wasn't keeping track, but it looked like 4 rolls. And that roll right at the start of the fight is the worst one because he has to go all the way to the left side of the room. Yeah, I think Papat, the world record holder of this game, says that on average Blizzard rolls 2 times in a fight. But I don't know, I think he has like some kind of deal worked out with them or something, because that's not what we deal with. Anyways, now that we're done with Blizzard, we are going to Plant Man Stage. This is another dangerous stage. We got some really slick movement to do, and then we got some dangerous platforming coming up right at the end of the stage. And we do have 2 mini-bosses, both of them being that gorilla, requiring 6 shots of the flame. Flame being a very powerful weapon. You don't want to fight that mini-boss with Buster, it really sucks. And coming into the second showing of the gorilla, DarkTerrex able to mash him down in 1 jump, so that's some very impressive jump mash. I struggle to do that consistently. Coming here in the final stretch, this is the last room of the stage. It's a very long room, and it's full of things that want to kill you. Both of them doing what we call platforms, jumping on these platforms that require you to, well, they intended you to switch to Buster, to use the Buster to shoot them, turning them into actual platforms, but even while they're closed like that, we can jump on them if you know what you're doing. Alright, Terrex making up a lot of ground coming into Plant Man's fight first. He gets the right side jump from Plant Man, so he gets a free manipulation. Resistingframe getting a left jump from Plant Man, but he does the manip just fine, so both of them able to get 5 shots in that first cycle. And then Plant puts his shield back on, and then finishing him up with 2 more hits. So a pretty standard fight. If you ever fail to get the manipulation, you're losing a bunch of time, because Plant will put his shield back up, and of course you can't hit him when his shield is up. Alright, coming into Tomahawk stage, we get to chill out a little bit now, as Tomahawk is a lot less dangerous. than Blizzard or Plant, or Flame. And just like Blizzard and Plant, we're going to be switching to Flame early. And we're going to be using it like crazy because it's such a powerful weapon. It does so well on enemies. Even though it's not the boss's weakness, we're going to be using as much as we can all the way up to the boss gate. And you might notice some extra blocks to break or ladders at the top of the ceiling. That's because this game has a bunch of alternate routes. Some of them can give you rewards like E-tanks and 1-ups, or ammo, or energy. And some of them lead you to an entirely different boss gate. 4 of the robot stages have alternate routes which lead you to a different boss gate. And if you go to them, you earn one of the beat letters. And here in Tomahawk's stage, we have one of those alternate routes. And we have, if you look on Resistingframe side, we have a breakable block here. And if you go in there, you'll meet Proto-Man. And he'll give you the energy balancer. So those 4 alternate routes and the energy balancer is required in the 100% route, but you won't be seeing that here in the 90% route. But just a little fun fact that those things are there. Alright, DarkTerrex making quick work of Tomahawk Man. This could be a scary fight. Sometimes you come to the stage with kind of low health if you have a bad stage. Sometimes you come to this fight with low health because you had a bad stage, and it's an exact ammo fight, so you got to be really mindful of timing your shots appropriately so that you don't accidentally shoot it into his iframes or something. And now we have the beautiful silver tomahawk weapon. Alright, so the icons on the weapon, on the stage select screen, if they show Mega Man's face, that means there's no alternate route there to get a beat letter. Since where we just came out of, Tomahawk, it's showing nothing there, because we just straight up, because there is an alternate route there and we didn't go there. If we did take the alternate route, it would show one of the letters B, E, A, or T. If we go to all 4 of those stages that do have the alternate routes with alternate boss gates, we'll earn beats. An extra weapon, which is a little bird. Little blue bird. Smart bird. And speaking of alternate routes, watch Resistingframe switch to Jet, just as Terrex did a little earlier. We are taking the alternate route here on Yamato Man Stage because it's actually faster. All of the alternate routes that earn you a beat letter require the usage of either Jet or POW to access. So this one is a Jet accessible route. So that's why we switched to Jet, even though you can't slide when it's equipped. But overall, taking this route is faster. So this is the special boss room. We're gonna earn a beat letter since we came here. And it's pretty cool, like there's a difference between this boss room and the normal path boss room. If we had taken the bottom route, we would be fighting Yamato in a room without a window. So the route for the beat part is always a nicer room. That's a nice window. Okay, so now we are equipped with Yamato's spear, and we are going to be heading to Nightman stage. Nightman is a pretty dangerous stage. We're going to be ramping up the difficulty again now as we finish up our Robot Masters. Right here with Nightman, we start off. Our first long room is going to be the spike ceiling room, a notoriously dangerous run killer part of the run. Terrex choosing to deboost the mole guy, I don't know his real name, so that he doesn't have to worry about the spikes. Resistingframe also doing the deboost strat. So yeah, that's a much simpler way of not having to deal with the hassle of having perfect movement to not only kill those spike mole guys, but to also slide at the right time to avoid those spikes coming down. If you start your slide and the spike ceiling comes down low enough where if Mega Man's slide ends, he would die, the game would actually just allow your slide to continue until you have the room to stand up. And that's what we call the super slide strat. These runners didn't do that, but it's really cool to see. Alright, so Terrex coming into the final room, finishing the final room now, as Resistingframe starting that final room with the bouncy castle portion of the castle. Alright, Nightman is known for jumping a lot. He has a nickname of Sir Jumpington, but actually he didn't jump at all for Terrex. That's some really good RNG. Let's see what Resistingframe gets. Jump in, jump. Well, 2 jumps, not bad. 2 jumps, I would happily take 2 jumps from Nightman. So yeah, really close race with our runners coming into our final Robot Master, Centaurman. Really good paces for both of them. Alright, so Centaurman is our water stage. We're going to be dealing with water physics, and some of that is really funky in this game. When you're underwater, in this game, you could walk off the ledge really far before you start walking. There's also this part, Resistingframe is going to do it. DarkTerrex already did it right there. Jumping underneath that Metroid falling from the sky and over that pit. For some reason, that particular pit has different water physics if you're next to the edge. So you have to actually do that jump further from the edge than normal. Sounds scary, but that's what you have to do, because if you walk right up to the edge and do that jump, the game will give you a full height jump, no matter how lightly you press it. I really like that strat DarkTerrex does at the end of the water ceiling room. Those enemies in the water ceiling room jump when you shoot at the right time, just like that. So you can choose to get them out the way if you shoot at the appropriate time. DarkTerrex likes to bait that last one out of the way, while Resistingframe just shot him twice to kill him. So both of these runners doing really well coming towards the end of Centaur. I didn't see if Terrex did a ladder jump. I'm pretty sure he did. This game has a lot of unique features, let's call them. So the slide cancels is one of them. Requiring slide cancels is one of them. And ladder jumps is another. If you climb a ladder down, before you actually let go of the ladder, you'll be able to stand and input a jump. So at the time it could be a little bit tight, so the risk versus reward usually doesn't call for that, but it does save time, and it's really swaggy, so the people love to see it. Alright, so DarkTerrex teleporting out sub-19. Sub-19 teleport is really good. Resistingframe with a low 1904 teleport. So still really good robot master times, 8 robo times. Alright, DarkTerrex has a slightly, definitely not a lead that would make you feel comfortable. Are resisting right on his heels. Oh, okay, I was about to say, yeah, DarkTerrex, you need to have a really clean movement to do what DarkTerrex tried to go for. He usually gets it. You have to deboost those first 2 cannons, and then you have enough iframes to go through the third one. If you're fast enough, you can cancel your slide while you're still inside the hitbox of the third one menu and switch to jet sooner. Resistingframe did the safe way and slid all the way out of his hitbox before menuing. Alright, so here, next one, we're going to be using jet and POW, combination of both to get to the shortcut. And even though we can't slide with jet or POW equipped, we're going to keep it equipped because we have a breakable block at the beginning and at the end of this long room. It's not a lot of surfaces to slide, and the menus take too long, so yeah, just keep POW equipped. It's actually the fastest way to go about it. Alright, DarkTerrex having a much cleaner rounder 2 fight this time around. This fight can get away from you if you do anything out of the norm. Resistingframe having an okay fight, not as fast as Terrex, but still manages to kill both of them before that second one goes way up there on that path, on that track. Alright, so here in X2, we're going to be traversing this really long horizontal stage. Whole bunch of Mets, whole bunch of those mole face, spike face guys. I really need to look up their name. They're everywhere. We're gonna switch to jet so we could get over this long stretch of spikes, and then switch to what is the weakness for our boss coming up. And it actually works out quite well because we need to kill some enemies that are above us, and Tomahawk, as you can see, arcs upwards. So it's really convenient how it works out that way. Resistingframe having some problems with the Mets. Alright, DarkTerrex coming into the power piston fight. And we can see why the Silver Tomahawk is the perfect weapon for this fight. As you can see, he is on the wall, going up or down, up and down. No telling where he'll be, because it's all RNG. You gotta just read it. Read it and practice perfecting your Tomahawk. Tomahawk, a pretty tricky weapon to master. And the hitbox of Power Piston is surprisingly small. So it's easy to lose a lot of time in that fight, as well as a lot of Tomahawk ammo. Yeah, so now that we're in the castle stages, we do not get ammo refills in between completing stages, so we gotta be managing our ammo from here on out. If we mismanage our ammo, we're going to have to fill it up someplace, which is gonna cost time. And the only ammo refills that are routed in are for Silver Tomahawk, because it is just such an important weapon in the end game. Alright, so here in X3, this is the jet stage. We're going to be flying for the most part. Once we're done with flying, we want to switch back to Buster just so we can get some slide time in. And then towards the end of the stage, we're going to be switching back to jet as soon as we could squeeze in every slide that we can. We'll switch back to jet. And although it is possible to do all of this without jet, jet is definitely the fastest way to go about it. All of these seesaws are time consuming to readjust their heights, so why bother? Oh, Resistingframe almost getting sniped by that last enemy, the Roland. Not today. And now we switch to POW. We do our swag walk into the boss fight so we could punch this Met in the face. And it's actually kind of tricky because you need to release your punch right at the peak of your jump. Any lower will tink. Ooh, Resistingframe needs to be careful. Oh, that was actually really close. He was taking a lot of contact damage. That Metongrazy hits like a truck when you take contact damage. And Resistingframe was doing it pretty dangerously, standing on top of him. That you will take damage there. Alright, but both of our runners out of X3 just fine. Now we're in X4. This is the most dangerous stage in the run, so definitely not out of the woods yet. We're going to be using a mixture of... We're going to use Jet at the start to skip a couple rooms, and then we're going to switch to Knight, and you'll all quickly see why Knight is such a nice weapon. It does a good amount of damage, 3 HP worth of damage. You're able to have 2 on screen at the same time. You can shoot it in 6 different directions, and it whips around like a boomerang, so a very useful weapon, especially in this stage. It allows more movement options, especially there in the Colton room that DarkTerrex just did and Resistingframe is coming into. Ooh, okay, Resistingframe's Nightcrusher almost landed on that first Colton on the same frame. It looked like he kind of anticipated for that, so he wanted to make sure that it was dead. Because if your two Nightcrushers hit your enemy at the same time, it'll only count as 1 hit. So that Colton would have still been alive, and Resistingframe would have jumped and definitely would have died. So very good awareness for Resistingframe. And DarkTerrex switching to Flame, he had a good round or 2 fight, so we can see that he has enough Flame ammo to do this fight with Flame this time around, while Resistingframe opting to do the POW fight. So both of these fights, both of these strats are perfectly fine. Flame, slightly faster. Of course, you have to manage your ammo properly, and your health. Terrex had the ammo, but he was a little bit low on health, so he played it safe and made sure that he wasn't taking too much damage in the fight. Resistingframe kind of had a sloppy POW fight, but as long as you don't die, that's the most important part. You wanna finish that fight right with Wiley on the right side of the screen, because that's where he needs to be for that cutscene to start. And you want Mega Man to be in the center of the room by the time that fight ends, because that's where he needs to be for the cutscene to start. No big deal. Both of our runners now here in Wiley 1, since Mr. X revealed himself to be Dr. Wiley. We're all shocked. We can't believe it. Anywho, yeah, Dr. Wiley. So here in Wiley 1, it's a pretty quick stage. We're going to be falling for the most part, and as long as we can jet at the right time to reduce our fall speed, we can get over here to this breakable block and access this nice little shortcut, which will allow us to fall a little bit more without having to deal with obstacles. And we're going to switch to Yamato Spear, because that is the weakness for this boss. I really wish it wasn't, because as you will probably see here, the hitbox, which is Mechasaurus's head, it doesn't always interact with the Yamato Spear. And the reason for that is because the rate in which Yamato Spear travels, it could skip over the whole width of the hitbox. So Resistingframe actually made up a ton of time right there. DarkTerrex having to deal with the magicalness of that hitbox. So it looks like Resistingframe taking a 1-second lead now just because of that fight. Here in Wiley 2, we have some ice physics in this first room, and a small little Yoku room where we can hopefully get to the shortcut in one jump. Resistingframe failed it, so now he's going to switch to Jet to get back up there. I'm not sure what's faster, switching to Jet and flying up there, or just waiting for the Yoku cycles to repeat. But it's probably roughly the same. So Terrex back in the lead since he had a cleaner Yoku room, able to jump into that shortcut in the first attempt. He took a death here in the Mad Nerds room last race, but having a much cleaner Wiley 2 this time around. Alright, and having a really good... what's this? BJW? The BJW fight. Having a much cleaner fight this time around. It's an easy fight. If you do it right, you should only see one bubble attack from him. Okay, so teleporting into Wiley 3 now. This is the refight stage. We're going to be fighting all of our robot masters all over again. Again, this is a perfectly developed game. There are no zips, there are no skips, there are no refight skips. So, unlike Mega Man 4 or 5 or 1, gotta fight those bosses again. But before we get there, there's a little bit of the stage at that pool area. It's really dangerous. It can be dangerous if you mess up your movement, but both of our runners making it out just fine. Terrex starting his Blizzard refight with the snowflake pattern. Oh, he's gonna be low on ammo because he shot one into iframes, but he's getting some good RNG. Only, I think, one roll so far. Only one roll, and it was on the right side, so that's not bad at all, even though he had to switch to Buster. Could have been a lot worse. Yeah, I'm totally gonna do refight skip in Mega Man 4. I'm just saying it exists. While it's not possible in this game. This game is coded so perfectly. So we are going to be fighting these refights in either clockwise or counterclockwise. Most runners do it clockwise. Really makes not much of a difference. Whichever boss you happen to teleport into, just menu to that appropriate weakness and take him down. Tomahawk and Windman are exact ammo fights, so want to be really careful with timing your shots properly. Please, Terrex. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, so now that we have the weakness for Windman, we see that it is the Centaur Flash. It's unfortunate that the Centaur Flash isn't useful anywhere in any stage. Maybe if the menus didn't take so long. Looks like Resistingframe getting some pretty bad RNG. I didn't see how many teleports Terrex got, but Resistingframe definitely got one or two. Coming into Nightman roughly around the same time though. Nightman being really nice for Terrex, only, okay, 2 jumps. While Resistingframe is gonna see the bottom of his feet. Okay, so Resistingframe likely, yeah, he's gonna take that top left teleporter first to visit Yamato, while Terrex continues going clockwise, so he's here in Plant Man. He gets the plant manipulation, so he's able to take him down in 2 cycles. As long as Resistingframe has a good fight on Plant Man, getting hopefully a 6 hit on that first cycle, or no less than a 5 hit, he can still get this, given the last fight's RNG. Oh, and Resistingframe not able to get the plant manipulation on that left jump that Plant Man gave him, so he's going to take some damage and try to get 2 or 3 hits in between the shields. So Terrex pulling away slightly more now. Alright, and this is the final stage. We are going to switch to Tomahawk. We want to make sure we don't slide off of this edge, because if we do, the game won't let us fit into this hole here for that ammo. So walk off the ledge or jump off. Get that ammo to top off your Tomahawk. Kill that enemy with 5 shots. And as long as you didn't goof up anywhere over there, you should have enough ammo +2 for all 3 cycles of Wiley. DarkTerrex having a really nice phase 1 and throwing out that early shot for the phase 2. Really clean, keeping him in iframes. Yeah, so Capsule RNG, I don't know if it could save resisting at this point. All of these spawns are RNG. We want to see him low or to the right side. And it looked like DarkTerrex finished that with, might have been a 34.59 or a 35 on the dot. Resistingframe finishing with a 35.08. So this is even closer than last race. Last race was a 9-second difference. This one is a, well, Terex's timer says 35.01, but it was definitely a 35. So 8-second difference. Resistingframe uses an auto splitter, so we know his split is accurate. So yeah, this was even closer than last race. Terrex taking it this time. Wow. GG's to both of them. GG's to Terrex taking a round 2. So yeah, well, this is going to round 3, race number 3. Well, we all predicted this would happen. This is the number 4 seed and the number 5th seed. Again, their PBs are really close. DarkTerrex's personal best is 34 minutes and 10 seconds, and Resistingframe's is 34 minutes and 38 seconds. So just knowing that and seeing these race times, like keeping it that close to your PB is already very impressive. And for both of these runners to keep it so competitive and so close, both of these races, like that just goes to show like how consistent they are. And I know that both of them coming into this tournament were quite rusty. They weren't actively running at the time, or I don't believe Terrex was. I know Resistingframe wasn't. So they de-rusted in such a short amount of time, and they're already back with their consistent low 35s, 34s. Oh, resisting, you're still de-rusting? Dang, I wish I could call this a de-rust run for me. Must be nice being a top runner. Again, give our runners a round of GG's. Very good. We're going to be setting up for our 3rd race. This is going to break the tie. We're going to find out who's moving on to the semifinals to see either Papat Dot or Papat Dot or Mad Mega X in the semifinals. Again, just put in !MM6 in the chat to see the bracket and join our Discord. If you want to see our leaderboards, check out megamanleaderboards.net. You can see all of our runners' times and VODs, as well as check out our resources to learn the runs. All right, so as we prepare for the 3rd race in this best of 3 matchup, I'd like to remind everyone that this is the Mega Man 6 tournament. This is the second to last round 3 match. The winner of this is moving on to the semifinals. Oh, by the way, I was taken out of the tournament today. Feels bad, man. No semifinals for your boy. Alright, so let's see how our runners are doing. Check on them, maybe they need a break or something. That was a very intense 2 races. The first race had a difference of 9 seconds. The second race had a difference of 8 seconds. Crazy. This is definitely the closest set of races that we've had in this tournament so far. We've had some game 3s, but not like this. And while we're waiting for our runners to get ready for the third race, go ahead and give them a follow. Resistingframe and DarkTerrex, 2 very good streamers, 2 very good speedrunners. They run multiple games, even in other franchises. How could they? Nah, that's fine. I'm the only loyalist to Mega Man. I'm just kidding, I run some other franchises too. But yeah, shoot them a follow. Really cool guys. Both of them appeared in GDQ. Yeah, this could go either way. I don't even know. This matchup is so well balanced in terms of, you know, their PB times and their race consistency. We used to have weekly races, and, you know, if these 2 were participating, they would always be around the same time. I do remember that. I got faith in you, RF. But I got faith in Terrex too, so... I only have so much faith, you know? Yeah, in race 1, DarkTerrex had 3 deaths, while Resistingframe had a deathless run, and was still only 9 seconds at the end. 9 seconds apart at the end. I'm not saying that Resistingframe needs Terrex to make mistakes to win, I'm just saying it's kind of how he won race 1. Resisting is my boy, though. No, seriously though, this is anyone's race. If both of them play at their best, like, it's still a toss-up. Okay, our runners are just taking a little quick break before we get into this final race, this tiebreaker. We got a lot on the line here. Bragging rights, yeah. Semifinals. Possibly the whole tournament. Whoever can do Buster music the best in Tomahawk Man Stage wins. It has to be right on cue. Every shot. Okay, I'm getting word from our runners that they are ready, so we're gonna be getting this countdown beginning just about now. Alright, I just gave them the green light, so we should be seeing our runners reset for the final time to get this race 3 underway. So again, let's give our runners a big GL. No one's picking sides. We love you both. Alright, and there goes the reset. We should see the countdown beginning on Resistingframe's timer since it is integrated with Racetime GG, which is facilitating the synchronization of our timers. Alright, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let go. Alright, so here we go. Happy to see no stage select fails. In Mega Man speedruns, a stage select fail is probably one of the worst things you could do in a run. You definitely want to reset. In a race, you just want to punch yourself in the face. That's all you can do. So, we wanted to come here. Man Stage, yeah. This stage is... It's a cool stage. We got a lot of nice movements. We don't really need weapons. Our Buster works perfectly fine to take down all the enemies we come across. The pandas have 6 health, so as long as you have some decent mash, they're no problem. Both of our runners getting past the Improv Room. The Improv Room with those fans and spikes. It's a dangerous room. And now here getting across those flippy platforms, which is the checkpoint room of this stage, the mid-checkpoint. So good synchronization for the most part getting across this stage. We got some more pandas to mash down. 1 charge shot and 3 lemons will take out their 6 health points. Every time you see that stomper enemy, we want to slip underneath it. You never want to have to fight or take damage from those guys. Alright, coming through one of the final long room with some more pandas. Resistingframe coming in at 128. DarkTerrex seeing the door at 129, really close. As long as it's sub 130, we're generally happy. Alright, so another reason why this stage is a good stage to come to first. Not only is the stage easy to do with Buster, but the fight is easy with charge shots. So just slide back and forth, which actually speeds up your charging. Every time you cancel your slide by turning the opposite direction, your charge shot charges by 1 frame faster. So that's what we call the wind dance, just sliding back and forth as fast as possible. charging as soon as you can to get those charge shots in. So now that we are equipped with Windstorm, we are going to be visiting the remainder of the bosses in weakness order. So since Flame is weak to wind, we're going to be heading here now. And that's actually quite convenient because the Flame weapon is really important. So we want to be getting that as soon as we can. Which is why Flame first is another viable route. Unfortunately, the boss fight with Buster tends to lose you some time. Alright, so Flame Stage is a pretty tricky stage when it comes to movement. Mega Man 6 is a unique Mega Man sliding game. Unlike Mega Man 3, 4, or 5, you cannot jump out of your slides. You have to cancel your slide. So all of these platforms that are 2 tile wide, not long enough for you to do a full slide. Unless you want to just slide right off the edge of that, you're going to need to cancel your slides. So you can do that by turning the opposite direction, which is a turn cancel, or tapping A, which is an A cancel. So whatever you prefer, just do that everywhere, all across this stage, so you can get that slide time in. Oh, and the Flame Boys dropping flames right into oil, which lights it on fire. DarkTerrex unable to jump out of the oil fast enough, so the fire coming in contact with the fire is instant death, just like spikes. That's very unfortunate right at the end of the stage. Okay, so Terrex respawning in the same room because that is actually the checkpoint room. So that is an unfortunate death to take, but I'm sure he's going to gain that time back in the remainder of the game. A lot left. So in the Flame fight, he is a jumpy boss. You want to see him stay on the ground so that you can hit him with that ground-based weapon, which is Windstorm. Okay, so both of our runners out now, coming into Blizzard Man Stage. Blizzard, his weakness is Flame, so we're here now. And this is the Ice Stage. So we're dealing with ice physics, and that does affect our slide movements slightly. So we are going to be doing A cancels more often than not to retain our forward momentum of that ice physics slide. And now that we have Flame, we're going to be using it for the majority of our Robot Master stages, starting here in Blizzard Man. Coming into the Submarine Room, you can see that it oscillates. Wait, is it oscillating? Well, it's going up and down. And if you come to that top part there where those spikes are, you can get to it in the fastest cycle, and if you do, you can slide under those spikes without having to stop the way Resistingframe did. But it's extremely dangerous to do the movements that requires. So having to stop in one of those safe spike gaps is perfectly fine. DarkTerrex coming up to the top of that. Oh, okay. He was on track to fit in that second spot, just like Resistingframe, but it looks like one of his slides didn't work, so he had to input another slide, and unfortunately didn't cancel the slide in time, so he slid all the way to the side of those spikes. There's a lot of circumstances in this game where if those circumstances are met, your inputs will get eaten, particularly your A input, whether you're trying to slide or jump. And it's just really unfortunate where that can happen sometimes. The Submarine Room is notoriously one of those rooms where your slides can get eaten, or your jumps. I know Terrex was thinking about going for Bomb Skip. I know he was. But he didn't. Again, Blizzard Man can roll, so hopefully Terrex gets no rolls, so he can make up some time on Resisting Frame. He gets one roll all the way to the right side, so that's not too much of a time loss. Not bad. Resisting Frame already here in Plant Man Stage. We're going to be doing as much as we can with Buster, and then finally switching over to Flame, just in time to visit this mini-boss, because fighting him with Buster is such a pain. 6 shots with Flame takes him down, simple as that. If you have some really good jump mash, you could do that in 1 jump. Resisting Frame, doing it in 2, which is, you know, nothing wrong with that. Alright, we're gonna see the second gorilla once more. And now we are in the final room of plants. Uh-oh. Okay, that ammo drop really scared me. Alright, so Resisting Frame is going to keep Flame equipped and do these tricky platform jumps on those platforms even though they're closed. So it's a very tricky, I was about to say tricky trick. It's a very tricky strat. It saves a bunch of time since you don't have to menu to Buster to open those up. But you only have 2 pixels to land on them, and you have to put in your jump input within, I think, a few frames. And there might be a dead frame in there, I think. Just believe me when I say that it's not easy to do. And Resisting Frame getting a great Plant Man fight, getting that plant manipulation so that Plant Man runs back and forth without setting his shield back up, which allowed Resisting Frame to get 6 hits in on that first cycle, finishing him off with just 1 more hit after he puts his shield back up. Oh, and Terrex taking a death at the platforms. See the strat that I was just talking about? He jumped onto the pixel just fine of the platform, but unfortunately wasn't able to get his jump input to get off of it. And if you don't jump in time, it just kicks you off. You can't stay on there. So that's quite the time loss. He doesn't have enough flame to do this room as he normally would, so he's gonna keep Buster. He's gonna probably open the platforms now. Yep, just like that. Might as well, since you already have Buster equipped. Don't need to risk it. So yeah, that's how you're intended to do those platforms. Switching the Buster and oh dear god, okay. He knew exactly where he was going to land. That was very calculated. Alright, so Resisting Frame, passing this beautiful sunset here in Tomahawk Man Stage. Now that we're out of wind through plants, we can take a breather here in Tomahawk. There's not that many pits or spikes. We switch to Flame early on because it does so well on our enemies here. And if we do it right, we'll have just enough ammo to last us all the way to the boss gate. So yeah, that death at platforms set Terrex back quite a bit. It's a really time-consuming part of the stage, and it's so far from the checkpoint. So Resisting Frame coming into the Tomahawk fight just as Terrex is teleporting into the start of the stage. And Resisting Frame timing those shots perfectly. It is an exact ammo fight, so you want to make sure you don't shoot recklessly. Alright, looks like Resisting Frame teleported out of Tomahawk within 11:38. I'll try to remember that to see where Terrex is at. And Resisting coming into Yamato Man Stage now. Yamato Man is the only stage where we're going to be taking the alternate path. 4 of these Robot Masters have alternate paths that lead to 4 alternate boss gates. Yamato is the only one that's actually routed in. And it's a pretty chill stage as well. We can handle all of the enemies with just the busters, so no need to menu off of it. The only time we're gonna menu is to switch to jet for the first time so that we can access that alternate path that I had just mentioned. Over here in this room that Resistingframe is in, you can see two ladders, one at the top, one at the bottom. If you came here before you acquired jet from Plantman, you would be forced to take the bottom route. That route is the normal route, it's slower, and it doesn't earn you a beat letter. Not that we're interested in beats, but we are interested in the time save that the top route provides, so that's why we're here. And by the way, you get POW suit from Flameman, and you get jet from Plantman. All of the alternate routes require the usage of either jet or POW. This particular one required jet. Okay, so the Yamato Man Fight is one of the more interesting ones because he only has two patterns. He could either shoot horizontally or jump into the air. And the Robot Masters are only allowed to do the same thing twice before being forced to do one of their other options. So since he only has two patterns, if he does two of the same things in a row, you know he's going to do the other one next. So Yamato Man is a little bit easier to anticipate his next shot, especially since you have to shoot your Tomahawk weapon at the appropriate time so that it can meet him in the air or wherever he might be. Nightman is the only Robot Master that doesn't adhere or doesn't observe that rule of doing only two things in a row. If he wants, he could do the same thing over and over again. But we'll get to that. As soon as we get past all these freaking spikes up here, look at all that. Resistingframe doing the D-boost strat so that he could just use his iframes to get past those spikes. There's a lot of different variations of getting past that spike ceiling room in one cycle. That's probably the safest one, I would say. The safest one that doesn't require pausing. And we're going to use jet to skip those rooms because climbing ladders is slow and we hate ladders. And switch over to Yamato Spear for the remainder of the stage as well as for the boss. Alright, coming into the Mad Nerd's room. Resisting, okay. Doing a safer strat there. No major mistakes here in completing Nightman stage for resisting. I didn't see when Terex teleported out like a long time ago. I knew I wasn't gonna keep track of that. Alright, so coming into the Nightman fight, like I said, he doesn't observe the rules that the other Robot Masters do, so if he wants, he could jump over and over again and be really difficult to hit. Resistingframe only getting 2 jumps, so that's actually good RNG. DarkTerrex doing the same strat, doing the D-boost strat underneath those spike ceilings. Oh, and he manages to shoot that shielded turret. I think he did it while the shield was still in front, so I believe that's pixel perfect. Alright, and Resistingframe is going to be teleporting into the final Robot Master, Centaurman. This is the water stage, and since it's underwater, it has a lot of tricky movements. Oh, and Terex taking a death in the barrel room. Luckily that is the checkpoint room, so it's not too much of a time loss. I think he got a health drop or something, and as we all know, if you get a health drop, while your health is filling, you cannot make an input, so it's very easy to put in your jump and it not registering because you put it in during the animation of your health fill. Alright, so resisting frame coming right into the checkpoint room already of Centaur. Really good movements. Okay. Requiring 2D boost to get across those spikes, which is perfectly fine. Still faster than waiting for the tide to come down to jump high into the water. So yeah, resisting frame kind of running away with it right now. DarkTerrex just starting his Nightman fight, and it looks like he's getting a jump or two. Yep, 2 jumps, so just like RF. And resisting does not do a ladder jump. Shame, the shame. Alright, overall, a very solid Centaur stage for resisting. Coming into the Centaurman Man Fight, there is some RNG in this. He can teleport, which will cost you a couple seconds, just like that. So, that's not what we want to see. We want him to come at me, bro. Okay, there we go. We got a come at me, bro pattern at the end there. So he got 2 teleports. Could have been 3. Could have been the worst. 3 teleports, but just 2. You're welcome, RF. And he's teleporting out of Centaur at 1851, so that is really good 8 robo time. So this is definitely 34 pace for resisting. Oh, by the way, Centaur Man has an attack where he could flash the screen and freeze you in place, which loses you a bunch of time. But you should never see that from an experienced Mega Man 6 runner, because you can avoid that by keeping either yourself or him in iframes. So as long as you do that properly, you should never get flashed. Alright, so now we are in the castle stages here at X1 on resisting frame side. We're going to be using POW and Jet because we got a lot of spikes to get over that we can't possibly jump. And we're going to be switching the POW suit here so we could break this window on the right. We could choose to go top with Jet, but that's way slower. And even though you can't slide with POW or Jet equipped, we're going to keep POW for the entire room because we have another block to break at the end here. So just keep it equipped, try to punch those narrow grasshoppers as best you can, and break that block, because it is faster than menuing to Buster to get some slide time in. It's just not worth it. And here we are in the rounder 2 fight. With the really weird hitbox. So there's a trick where you can just shoot your flame pillars onto the floor and wall and let the boss collide with it as it moves on its track. Because if you try to shoot those flames directly into it, you'll find that the hitbox is kind of weird. All right, so resisting frame. Still on amazing pace coming here into X2. We're going to be traveling right. This is a side scroller, remind you. We're going to be going all the way right. And when we can't slide any further, we're going to switch to Jet to get over these spikes, and then over to Silver Tomahawk. Silver Tomahawk, a very important weapon in the end game of this run. So we want to manage our weapon energy for it very carefully. Well, we want to manage all of our weapon energy carefully, but especially Tomahawk. Tomahawk is the only weapon where refills are actually routed into the run, because we need it. And since we're in the castle stages, of course, your weapon energy does not refill in between stages. So everything you have is what you have, and if you want more, well, you need to find some refills or take a game over. Alright, Silver Tomahawk was the weakness for the power piston. You can see how it's on the wall, usually up high. So Silver Tomahawk is a really good weapon for that as it arcs up. I didn't see the ammo that Resistingframe had left, but I think that was a decent fight. So he should be able to do the normal route and get the normal weapon refills without having to change a thing. And Resistingframe already starting X3 as Terrex teleports into X2, so we could see this lead is pretty sizable. X3 is a very dangerous stage. Mega Man 6 is one of the Mega Man games where Mega Man is extremely heavy. You fall like a rock, and for some reason sliding off of ledges makes your fall speed maximum. In the previous Mega Man games, you want to do a little hop if you want to fall down fast. But in this game, you could just slide off the ledge and you're falling as fast as possible already. And fall speed can also affect your landing. If you short a jump just enough, Mega Man 6 might just kick you off of that ledge if your fall speed is too great. So you kind of want to give a little bit more distance in your jumps in this game. Especially when you're coming down from a jet and your fall speed is really fast. Just make sure you're coming over to the right far enough to safely land on the platform you're going for. Alright, at the end of the X3 stage, we're going to switch off the jet and equip POW suits to fight Matongar Z. This gigantic Met with huge arms that he can't even move. A really dangerous fight, but RF making it look really simple. His weakness is Blizzard, by the way, but if we used it, it would be extremely laggy and slow, and we would ultimately have to refill Blizzard for our refight. So Terrex jetting across X3 right now as Resistingframe comes into X4. We're also going to jet here at the start of the stage so that we could skip a couple of rooms. And then switch over to Night Crusher. Night Crusher is such an awesome weapon. It does 3 damage. You could have 2 of them on screen at the same time. So it's like having 2 charge shots on screen at the same time. And you can shoot it in 6 different directions. And it boomerangs around. So that gives you some more movement options as you can kill things in ways that you normally can't. Very dangerous room that RF was in. Again, getting really close to shooting that first Colton with Night Crushers landing on the same frame. If your Night Crusher hits your enemy at the same time, it would count as 1 hit. So that's why Resistingframe kind of hesitated before he jumped. He wanted to make sure that Colton actually died from those 2 Night Crushers. They almost landed on the same frame. Oh! Oh. Okay, I know exactly what happened there. Resistingframe met one of the conditions needed for your jump to get eaten in this game. And one of those conditions, curiously enough, is turning around. If you turn around, which happens all the time because you want to slide cancel, and turn canceling is a very good option to cancel your slide. If you turn around and then try to jump, your jump will get eaten if you jump on the 2nd frame after turning around. So Resistingframe, he turned around, I believe he did a slide, he canceled that slide by turning around. He wanted to turn around again so that he could then jump to the right, but his jump got eaten, so he ended up just walking off. Or did he do an A cancel? I mean, jumps get eaten everywhere. Fail D still has a very good lead on Terrex. So that was a decent Mr. X fight with the POW suit. Fail D. Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought Terrex was gonna die. I forgot that you could just slide off of that platform. So that was a pretty costly death by Resistingframe because it occurred really close to the boss gate. So that brought him back quite a bit, but still has a good lead on Terrex. Terrex also switching to POW? Yes, okay. So not doing the flame fight like he did in Race 2. He's also switching to POW to punch Mr. X. Oh, it looked like Resistingframe hardly had enough jet to reduce his fall speed enough to get over to this shortcut. Luckily, he managed to get over to the right and access this shortcut because it is much faster than continuing that fall in that previous room. Alright, so after breaking that block with POW, we're going to switch over to Yamato Spear. He'll shoot down this Joe, who's not even ready for us. He's looking the wrong way. And then come into this wonky fight with Mechazorus. What is wrong with this fight? Well, watch this. Boom. 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 Okay, that worked. That did not work. Alright, well, as you can see, it's very unreliable whether or not your Yamato Spear will actually register and make contact with the hitbox of the Mechazorus' face. So that's why we call it the magic hitbox. Resistingframe didn't have too much of a struggle with that fight. Still good on ammo, still good on his lead. So pretty comfortable. Okay, let's see if Resistingframe can jump out of this Yoka room with only using one cycle. There we go. Struggled with that last race. That was also where Terrex started pulling away. Alright, let's see how magical Terrex's fight is. Started off magical. Resistingframe has some extra flame ammo, so he's choosing to use it to kill some of these mad nerds. It's a little less laggy to kill them with flame because they actually disappear. If you kill any enemies with the wind, they fly up, so their sprite is still on screen and it could get laggy. Also, if you use wind and they're flying up out of the screen, their hitbox is still active, so you could jump too early and actually bonk into them and die. Alright, so DarkTerrex also in Wiley 2 now, or coming into Wiley 2 now. Getting a clean one jump from the Yoku, so he's fine there. Resistingframe onto Wiley 3. This is the refight stage, but first we have to get past this pool area. And on the way there are some nice weapon energy pickups, so we're going to use that to fill up our Tomahawk. That should be the only weapon that requires a refill at this point. Resistingframe isn't full on Tomahawk, but he should be fine as long as he doesn't mess up his Yamato Man Fight too badly. DarkTerrex fighting BJW. And perfect fights, only one bubble, no damage. Resistingframe getting some snowflakes from Blizzard, but not opting to deboost to the right, so he gets a full-length roll all the way to the left side of the room. Alright, so Resistingframe now facing off with Flame Man again, as DarkTerrex starts off the Wiley 3 stage. So there's really nothing too special about these refights in this Mega Man game. We're gonna just be taking these teleporters clockwise and menuing to their weakness. It's not like Mega Man 4 or 3 where we have some complex routing of the teleporters so that we can optimize our menus and soft weaknesses. We're just using main weaknesses And whether you go clockwise or counterclockwise in the teleporter room doesn't really make much of a difference. Just get in the boss room and menu as necessary. Now that we're seeing Windman for the refights, we do have his weakness. Unfortunately, Resistingframe did not respect the iframes, so he's going to have to switch off onto Buster to finish off this fight, as that is an exact ammo fight with Centaur Flash. So Terrex making up some time there, but that mistakes like that shouldn't cost Resistingframe the race. It's gonna need a lot more than that for Terrex to catch up, I believe. Although he's getting two, what was that, 2 teleports from Centaur? Yeah, getting some pretty bad RNG, but yeah, still not enough. Not this late in the run, I think. I got a soft weakness, yeah. I'm just soft. Alright, so Resistingframe in the Yamato fight. Okay, it looks like he fired one into iframes. He's gonna need to be careful with his ammo. Should be fine. Yeah, he's fine. Okay, see, he menus sometimes in the teleporter room, and depending on where you do that, the fade to black in your pause can take longer than normal. I believe we call that the 100-year pause. I call it the million-year pause. Resistingframe having some struggles here with Plantman, having to take him down in 3 cycles. You don't want to see more than 2 cycles on Plantman. He did get the manipulation, but unable to get all of the hits needed. Alright, so Resistingframe coming into the final stage, Wiley 4. Right as DarkTerrex does the plant manipulation himself, so you should be ending that fight in 2 cycles. Resistingframe topping off his Tomahawk ammo, since it is the weakness for Wiley's 3 phases. It's the only weapon we're gonna need for the rest of the game. Some more nice movement. We didn't even get to see what Eddie had for us. It's not that we want it, but if you don't even see it, that's how you know you passed him fast. Alright, having a little messy with phase 1, but no big deal. As long as you manage your ammo properly, that's the main thing. Alright, coming into the capsule, this is the final phase for Wiley, so time ends right on the last hit. We want to see some low spawns, or to the right. This is the best spawn there, because afterwards we can hit him off screen just like that. Awesome. So GG Resistingframe takes game 3 and takes this set 2 wins to 1. Okay, so let's try to switch over to Terrex's audio as he finishes up Capsule. There we go. So getting some pretty bad spawns. Also gets to finish it off with an off-screen hit. So 2 swag kills for both of them. GG's to Terrex. GG's to both of our runners. This wasn't as close as game 1 or game 2, but it was still a very competitive race all the way through. These are very experienced top runners of this game, and they definitely didn't let us down tonight. Very good races. So again, give our runners some GGs. Also, let me drop their links. Go ahead and give our runners a follow. Hey, what happened to our music? All right, we're going to see if either runner or both want to do an interview. I'm sure their nerves are still high coming out of that race number 3. Okay, so it looks like our winner, Resistingframe, is going to be joining me for an interview. Doesn't look like DarkTerrex will be joining. Yo, 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 what up, RF? GG.
Mic check.
Was that a mic check?
Yeah, that's a mic check because I need.
Yeah, you're kind of cutting out.
Can you hear me now? Everything good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Yo, GG's, man.
I thought I lost that one, man.
What, race number 3?
Yeah, once I took that death on X4, I was like, nah, that's that was a 40-second loss. I was like, oh my goodness. And I was on PB pace, I think, too.
Wow.
Like I
Yeah.
was,
Yeah, I think some people in chat were saying that you were on PB pace, and that was a very costly death for sure.
and then yeah, after that I started to panic. I was like, oh man, this dude's probably like a whole 3 stages ahead already from that loss.
Terex took a death at platforms, and you held the lead from then on in race 3.
Oh my goodness, man. I even said it. Like I was like, I need a sub 35, man. You know, I was playing like it for the most part.
Yeah, man, you held it down for sure. Very, very good races, all 3, even though you had that death in X4. Still a really good time at the end. So you're moving on to semifinals. You didn't think this was going to happen, did you?
I didn't think so at all. Papa, where are you? Come get some.
Yes, so you're either going to be facing either Papat or Mad Mega X. They haven't had their race yet. So it's going to be either one of them. I'm sure you've raced both of them before, so
Don't remind me, man. We know how those went.
yeah, definitely looking forward to that. So as we're moving on to the semifinals, things are going to heat up even more. All of these top runners are going to face off now for our entertainment. Anything you want to say, RF?
Oh no, my nerves, man. My heart is pumping right now. So I just I need something to drink.
I know you were prepared to put this game back down, but it looks like you're gonna have to keep playing Mega Man 6 for a little while longer.
And yeah, I guess so, man. I guess so. My thumb is aching right now. I haven't played the games that much since like the relay, I think it was last year.
Oh yeah, and the Mega Man Relay is coming up again next month, so look out for that, everyone.
Oof.
Are you gonna come out to qualifiers for that?
It depends on the time because usually they like to hold the relays when I work. So last time I called in sick to to race. I don't think it's gonna happen again.
All right. Well, hope to see you there, anyways. Um, as far as this event, Cool Kid and Madu are going to be facing off. They're already waiting in the semifinals, so they should be scheduling their match soon. Papa and Mad Mega X need to finish up round 3 so that you know who you will be facing off with in the semifinals on your side of the bracket. Again, just put exclamation point MM6 in the chat to see the bracket and join our Discord, as well as check out megamanleaderboards.net to see the leaderboards, join our Discord, and check out all of our resources for learning the runs. Anything you want to add, RF? Any shout outs?
Nah, it was spectacular, man.
Hey, for sure, man. You said it. You said it, bro. Again, GG's to both of our runners, Resisting and Terex. They put on a very nice show for all of us. And congrats, moving on to semifinals.
All right, GG to Terex, and I'll be I guess practicing again. Name.
Now, if this was rusty for you, just go in like this. You're fine.
Not in the next round. You know how it goes, man. I'm gonna need like a 34, low 34s to be in it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be required moving forward for sure. All right, well, I want to thank Speed Gaming for allowing us to host this event, this tournament on their channels. And thank you to the tech crew and everyone behind the scenes for making this possible. Thank you again, Resisting and Terex, for putting on a good set of races. And good luck in the remainder of the tournament.
Thanks, man. Thanks for commentating, bro.
Hey, my pleasure, man. And thank you to all the chatters and everyone watching. Catch y'all next time.
Peace.